that which is in part shall be done away. You remember there was an occasion where Jesus was teaching, and don't you remember how he was talking about people who have pride in their life and should be Christian? He said, the setting was this. He said, 2 men went into the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, and one was
publican.
And they were
Publican,
popular.
not a Republican.
No.
They didn't like that. But
They
one
worked
was a
for the
Pharisee.
IRS.
And what did Jesus say to you? Amen. What did Jesus say about that Pharisee? He said, Father, now this is the Pharisee praying. Father, I thank you. I'm not like this guy. Look at that. I'm thinking I ain't like him. Well, I pay tithes. I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I'm a member of this church. And he listed all these things that he was good at. And it was, even though it was a parable, Jesus was illustrating the point that a lot of people honestly think that way. I'm better Brother Hall, I'm better Steve, I'm better G. Look, they can tell you you're false, but I'm always this, you know. And but then he said the publican, he would not even look to heaven. He just breathed. He just says, God be what? Merciful to me of what?
Sinner.
So he knew he couldn't live life. And Jesus ended his parable by saying, he went away justified. Amen? Right. So you can justify yourself. Don't try to get puffed up. Well, I'm spirit-filled. God's speaking in tongues. And them damn Baptists, they don't even know what it's about. Don't puff yourself up with pride, you see. And so don't never start that foolishness, because our righteousness comes from Christ himself. Amen? He's the one that's made us righteous and made us before God. But I've just heard people before kind of brag, well, I do this and I hold this class and I teach all. I'm a Sunday school teacher. Come on now, Lord have mercy. Amen. Where did we leave off at? I think we finished it, didn't we?
You ended Romans 8.
We got Romans 8:39 is the last one.
You ended.
Thank you. For I'm certain that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor cold weather, nor parties, nor invites any place else, nor powers, nor things present or things to come, nor height, nor depth, or any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Christ, which is in Christ Jesus. So what he's saying there, we don't have an excuse for any reason for being cold in the things of God. Yes, my Brother Hall, you don't know who I'm married to. Oh, come on now.
God does. God does. God knows who you're married to.
Well, I'm serious now. I've heard people before. I wouldn't come to church, but blah 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 blah, my husband or my wife. You know what I tell? In fact, recently I told this young lady. I said, "Listen, you're going to have to come to church regardless of whether your husband comes or not." You see, and I mean it. In fact, I had the good news of yesterday. This young lady walked in and said, "Brother, oh, guess what? I'm going to start coming to church." I said, "Well, praise God, about time." But she said, "I don't care if my husband comes or not. I'm coming." You see what I'm saying? Now, that's when you start growing in grace. Can you say amen? And that's
amen.
The testimony, saints. And I've told more than that, and I'm beginning to see some increase in here. But thank God, thank God. Is there any question about anything that we went over tonight? Praise God. We don't have any reason to be, braggadocious about it. This Christ has did it all, and Him be glory forever, ever, and ever. Amen.
Amen.
And the Bible teaches we got to suffer with Him. Amen. My concern is comes this tribulation time when you're really going to have to suffer. And I just encourage as a pastor to grow in grace and grow in strength. Because the early Christians, they had to go through a bunch of stuff. And I see it towards the end time that if God gave them grace to go through it, God will give us grace also. Amen. Praise God. And praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Well, saints, I think we're going to end it right there. See? And I do apologize for us being late. But it ain't good to come and discuss these things. And when you walk out of here tonight, you say, hey, we hit on this and we hit on that and mention this. But the most important thing, thank God for Jesus. And thank God that we have a sure foundation. And thank God we can call things that be not as though they are. And now we can start using these things and realize that God has made them a law. He's made gravity a law, and he ain't changed his mind. And all these scriptures, he's made them a law. It's the law in the Bible. Amen? Nothing can separate you. It's a law. Did you know that? That's what he said. I think we can take that as a law, can't we? Nothing can separate. That's a law. You know, so these other things, he says, call things that be not as though they are. Could you take that for law? He said it. You know, if Christ said it, I think we could call it a law. Amen? And then, so now I'm more encouraged to practice it as a law. Because if you, well, I don't know, blah, blah, that's a law. And so I'm going to just be more firm in my confession. Let's stand. It's been so good to be in the house of the Lord. Praise God, praise God, praise God. Thank you, Jesus. Go back.